lens fell out. There's some tape right there. I don't know what to say. I wrote some stuff down, but I'm so overwhelmed. This has been one of the greatest weekends of my life. I've had many great weekends, with my children, my wife, but this has been one of the great ones. Now, I didn't know it, but this is going to be #1 on my bucket list, thanks to Alan over here. I didn't know it, that it was going to be, and I want to thank you, Alan, for all the hard work that you put in. Debbie, and the rest of you, you guys really made it work. I've had the greatest time. I was 15 years old. My grandmother moved here from Carthage, Illinois, and I was 15 years old. And of course, she was a Christian, and nobody else in the family was, and she kept nagging me to go to church. And I started going to church with her, and every once in a while, during the invitation, she'd say, "Oh, don't you want to go down, accept the Lord?" I said, "No, I don't want to, no." And one day, I don't know why I kept going if I didn't want to accept the Lord, but I did. And one day, she was standing on my left side, and her friend Mildred was on my right side, and Mildred turned to me and says, "Oh, Mike, won't you go down?" I said, "Oh, all right." And that's what I said. And Earl Curry took me down into the basement and led me to the Lord. Earl Curry's 2 daughters, Jackie and Becky, are here. Good to see you. And so my history here at Bethany was probably before 4 or 5 years. I was 15, and I graduated, and a couple years later I joined the Navy. And that was the end of my spiritual life. Because of those 4 or 5 years, the seeds were planted. And I, like Jim Heckle, did not really give my life to the Lord until a couple of decades later. And through some actions of my own, I almost lost everyone I loved. My wife and I are trying to put things back together. And I looked at her and I said, "We need to start going back to church." That was the only thing that's going to save our marriage. So we went back. We've been going back ever since. And that was truly the time I accepted the Lord and I gave my life to Him. Amen. And it hasn't been the same since. And my wife and I discussed it, and we both agreed that all those years the Lord was truly waiting on us. We really felt that. He is truly long-suffering, and He was pursuing us. We kept running. Finally, we gave in. And it's because of those 4 or 5 years I spent here in Bethany. Bob and Lois, I want to thank you. You gave a lot of your personal time to us. And I don't know who would have done it if you hadn't done it. And I just had the greatest times here, the hay rides, Destination Unknowns. There was one person that isn't here that I don't know if I should mention it. Well, She kicked Steve Knopf off the hay wagon. She blamed me for doing it. I wish she was here. Oh well, her sister's here. Anyway.
Who was it?
No, it was Kathy Wilkins. She was sitting next to me, and I saw her legs go out, and Steve Knopf fell off the hay wagon. And when we got back, she said, I did it. But thankfully, he didn't get hurt. So that is one of my memories. Anyway, Bob and Lois, thank you. I've thought about you many times over the years. And my regret is that I hadn't kept in contact with you. But thanks.